Cheers, everybody. Good morning. And this is I'm hoping it's going to be sort of a vlog edition of Dope or Nope, because today I'm dedicating time to reading Yesteryear by Caro Claire Burke. This book is everywhere right now. I got an arc of it, and so I have had it in my possession for a while. I had every intention of reading it before it was released. That obviously did not happen, as it's been out now for a few weeks. But I've been talking to a girl that I work with, and she just finished reading it and absolutely loved it. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna push it up the priority because I just want to know what the hype is about. If you haven't heard about this book, it follows a woman named Natalie, and I believe she's kind of like an influencer trad wife sort of thing. And she wakes up one day and she's in the 1800s, and things are a disaster because it appeared to the public that she was doing all this stuff on her own. She actually had a huge team behind her, kind of making everything work. I am very much looking forward to reading this. I just hope it's like kind of a fun book. That's what I'm looking for. I'm hoping it's not too serious. I'm hoping it doesn't take itself too seriously. So we shall see how it goes. It's going to be a pretty relaxing day today. Bradley and I went on a big hike yesterday, and my legs are feeling it because it was the first real hike of the season. And so our legs are not quite where they need to be, but we are going to, I think, just relax. We've got a contractor coming by today that needs to check something out. I think I want to try to get to the library at some point because I've got a bunch of cookbooks on hold that I want to pick up. And that, I believe, is it. The Blue Jays play later today. That has become our evening kind of wind down, is watching the Jays and having a drink. And so that, I believe, is kind of just the few things that we're going to touch on today. But I love reading vlogs, and I'm so bad at making them. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do one day, hopefully one book, one day, a little bit of a reading vlog. Let's see where this goes. And I'm going to start it by drinking my coffee out of this adorable Winnie the Pooh mug that my sister sent to me from Canada. So I know she loves me because, my goodness, shipping across a country to a different country, girl. But let's get to reading, shall we? I am chapter 11, which is just shy of 100 pages, I think. This is reading really quickly. Natalie, the main character, is kind of just an awful person on the surface, but you are slowly starting to learn her backstory, and she's beginning to make a little bit more sense anyways in terms of like her thought process. She definitely has a very different outlook on the world kind of than those around her, and the way she was brought up. There's just this very different kind of vibe around her that I'm really enjoying reading, but she's not an enjoyable person. So that has been fun. The jumping back to yesteryear, or it's 1805 that she kind of time travels to, or whatever it is that's happening. And it's going to be, I think, a pretty harrowing experience. There are some things that have already happened that are a little kind of jarring, that make sense, I think, for the context of the time in which she has traveled to, but weren't necessarily things I thought were going to be touched on in this book. So we are having a really fun time reading this. I just had yogurt and granola snack, got some golf on in the background. And yeah, like I said, I'm almost 100 pages in, so I will check in later on in the book. But right now, I'm definitely enjoying myself, even though I'm not sure exactly where this book is going to go. I don't even know what to say about this book. It is kind of bananas. So not at all what I expected it to be. I just finished it, and I'm trying to think about how to wrap up how I feel about this book. And I don't know that I have a very concise answer to that question. You are following a woman. The tagline on the back is, "My name was Natalie Heller Mills, and I was perfect at being alive." And then it does what it says. It's a woman who is an influencer. She gains traction being a trad wife and all the things that involves, and then suddenly she wakes up one day and she's in the year 1805. And I did not know how this book was going to be resolved because there didn't appear to be a solution. It's like, you know, when you get those time travel books where it's somebody's got to learn a lesson or something like that, and that didn't appear to be the trajectory that was going. Like, I just had no idea what to expect. And then things go off the rails a little bit. And I appreciate the originality of this book. I do think it does something different. I think it does something original. The main character is kind of horrible, but also you get it a little bit at the same time. I think the writer, what's her name, Caro, did a fantastic job with the main character in this book. But the ending, I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything for people who are going into this because I think it's popular for a reason, but it gets a little unhinged in a way that I'm having a hard time kind of putting my head around or grasping. And so I'm going to have to, okay, so there are always a couple of books every year that every booktuber and their mom talks about wanting to read. It's on anticipated lists, it's on hauls and all that stuff, and then you don't hear a peep about it afterwards, which always leads me to believe that people have been let down and they don't really want to talk about it anymore. It's like they've hyped it up so much that they don't want to say anything kind of negative, or because like there's just so much hype around the book. There is so much hype around this book, but I know that on my feed, people are reading this book. And so I'm going to be very curious to see how other people respond to it, because I think it's a well-executed book. I think it's unique. It gets dark. Like, this is not just a fun romp in the 1800 times. You know what I mean? Like, there are some things that are discussed in this book, and I'm a little flummoxed. So I want to know what other people's thoughts are on this book. But ultimately, I do think it's one that if you've been thinking about picking up, I think you could have a really good time with this book. Do I think it's like on the dope or nope scale in this kind of video? Do I think it's super dope? No, I don't. It's entertaining, but it is not a book that is going to be a top favorite. I wouldn't expect it to be my favorites of the year. That being said, though, it is a book I'm going to remember. It's just not a book that I love. One of those things could be, and this is obviously just a me thing, it's very heavily focused, like the idea of motherhood and being a mother and all the things that come with it is very, very much a prominent topic in this. And that's not something that I typically enjoy anyways. And obviously it's following a trad mom. Like, I knew that was going to be discussed, but it is a very prominent subject in this book. And so that kind of, for me, I was like, meh, sure. But a wild ride, just a wild ride. I want to know, if you've read this, what you think of it without spoilers. And I will see if my feelings change in the next little bit. But right now, I had a good time. It wasn't my favorite thing of all time. There we go. That was today's reading thing. I think I started this at like 9 o'clock, and it's 5, and I took off some time. It's, like I said, it was a pretty quick read. This is an ARC copy, so there may have been some changes between this and the final proof being put out into the world, but great. You know, it was an easy, entertaining read for a day off that I just wanted to relax. Now I'm gonna say goodbye because I got a Costco trip to go to and I got some baseball to watch. I hope you guys all had lovely days, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.